Hey guys, Chris Fraze, It's Not the Dog, It's You. I wanted to take a little time to show you this video from an old client. This is Olaf Out of Control. You can find this video on my original YouTube channel, link in the description. These people came because the dog was food aggressive. That's the problem that they had. So that's all they wanted fixed. Now you can see here that that dog is, Olaf is the white and black dog, and he's going after Manson, and he's telling him to cut it out. Now you're going to see this arrow come in, and you're going to see that the dog really doesn't want to have even the owner's foot there. So it's food aggression, it's barrier frustration, transference that you just saw there. And now you've got dog aggression. So they think they just want the food fixed. What's the problem? The problem is they don't understand that how they live with the dog is the problem. If we don't address how someone lives with the dog, we're never going to get the dog trained. Olaf thinks it's his house. Most dog trainers treat the symptoms. Most vets treat the symptoms. Most pet psychics treat the symptoms. That's a lie. They don't do shit. Most of them treat the symptoms. That is where the money is. Where the money is. Not where the success is, but where the money is. Okay? So I want to show you something that might make sense of the way I'm thinking and the way we do things. So check this out. Okay? People, let me see if I can do this right. Okay, people at their house, they get a dog. They love their dog. It's so awesome. It's just so great. It's a house full of love. It's love. So we get this little rat and we bring it in here and we go, oh my God, we fenced in the yard. That was $34,000 and there's no way out. And it's such a good home, right? So what happens then? You start to spoil this little mutant. Okay, so you buy him a dog bed. Ooh, you get him some toys. Right? He's allowed to play with these toys. He just has them. They're his. He can play with them. That's his bed. His bed. That's his toys. His toys. Right? His. So what happens then? Dog says, I want to go out. So you don't want him shitting in your house. You don't want him peeing in your house. So what do? When he whines at the door, you get up. Oh, good boy, good boy. And you take him outside. Who gave the obedience command to get the door open? The dog did. Who followed it? The human. Think about that. You're sending an impression to the dog. Now I'm looking over here at my chart. Dog, you want him to jump up on you because he's so cute. Right? We're going to get him to jump up. You're not going to want that later. But you're going to teach it to him now. So that's not confusing at all. When you put him on a leash, because, you know, we don't really need a trainer. I had a dog when I was young. I know how to train a dog. So the dog learns to pull on the leash. And you're okay with it because he's little. He's just a baby, right? Good boy. It's good. You want to go say hi to somebody? Pull, pull, pull. Bad. Now, you tell the dog, hey, we're going to eat. So whenever we have food, if you just come over and look at us, we'll feed you. That's what we're going to do. So the dog says, feed me. You think he's sad, but all you're doing is telling the dog, whenever you want food, just come over and look sad and I'll give it to you. Right? Okay. Now the dog is getting a little older and you say, hey, come here. And the dog ignores you. And you get mad. Why? Because you never trained the dog to listen to you. When you have something, the dog will come over. But if you don't have something, that's it for you. Okay. Now a big one is that when a dog comes over to you, you pet it. The dog came over and put its head on your lap. It's not trained. You have no obedience. You have no obedience. None. So what are you going to do now? The dog is telling you to pet it when you come over. So you say, get away. And the dog goes, just pet me some more. Rub my belly. Whatever you want to do. Now the dog is telling you to do all these things, or the dog owns these things, right? So now the dog starts barking at the door when someone comes up. Why? Because the dog is alerting you to protect it. The dog is going, oh, someone's at the door, someone's at the door. So you take the door, take the dog. So what do you do with the dog when it's barking? You tell it to shut up, but it doesn't listen. And then you put it in the bedroom. Okay, maybe it's the basement, whatever. But now the dog's pissed because it's in there, so it starts barking even more. Maybe digging at the wall, right? Right? So the dog is in the bedroom, and now we go over here. All these things are a chain. They're connecting, right? right? Because the impression, dog's eye point of view, is that the house is the dog's house. But the dog doesn't pay the mortgage. You do. So now you get food aggression. And now you got to do something about this. Because this dog, so you had it since it was a little puppy, right? So this whole timeline in here is anywhere from 8 weeks to 1.5 years, give or take, right? If you've had the dog since a puppy. It's going to be 90 days or less if it's a rescue. Adult dog. Does that make sense? So this timeline, you're telling this dog that it is in charge. It has no obedience, none, right? So let's take it to daycare, play dates, and long walks. It's never been told that it's not its house, and it's never been told you're not a servant. Remember this always. Dogs were bred to serve people, not people bred to serve dogs. If you treat your dog like a human, your dog will treat you like a dog. So now you've got all this happening, right? All of this happening. You're throwing the ball. Dog says, throw the ball, monkey. You throw it. Dog says, pet me, monkey. You pet it. Dog says, get away from my shit. You get away from it. But this dog's grown now. It's learned. Who taught the dog to do this? You did. But you're now going to make your GOLD call. Gold. The gift of loving desperation. Where you go, hi, trainer. My dog is food aggression. We'll fix you right up. Fix you right up. Listen, I'm an e-collar trainer. We'll teach that little motherfucker not to be that way. Oh, and you're going to use a prong, just for safety's sake. E-collar and prong for safety, right? We're going to teach it place, which is what got it into trouble in the first place, because it was its bed. I don't know if that makes sense to people. Yeah. We're gonna maybe you call a vet, and they're gonna give you some trazodone, or they're gonna sedate the dog, or a canine psychic, right? So all of these people are gonna keep you in this box. This is the money box. This is the money box. Money box. Money box. Money box. They keep telling you it's not their fault. It's your fault. They're right about that. But what they're wrong about is that they keep treating the symptoms. That's what happens. These are symptoms. These are symptoms. Why? Because of what you did. You raised the dog to be a spoiled brat. And now you give that dog a big-ass meaty bone, and he's going, nope, you ain't touching that. You got to know your place. When I tell you to open that door, motherfucker, you take that door, you take me out. When I tell you to pet me, you pet me. When I tell you I don't want my nails clipped, you don't do it. You got it? Capiche? So now you've got a high value item that this dog is saying, I do not wish to share. So if you come here to It's Not the Dog, It's You, we're going to ask you some questions. Who bought the dog? Who trains the dog? Why did you get the dog? If you're sad because someone died, or you're lonely, or you need an emotional support dog, this is a bad idea, because the dog does not understand what you want. A dog is a dog. It's a predator. It's opportunistic. It's got four-wheel drive and a low center of gravity. It's everything a human isn't. So now, where am I here? Okay. Where did the dog bite you? Where is the dog showing aggression? Is it in the corner? Because it's going to be worse there. What's going on there? When did these little symptoms start to happen? And when you tell me all this, why are you telling the dog that it's its house? Why are you telling the dog that you're the servant, you're the maid, you're the butler, you're the masseuse, you're the limo driver? Why? And when you come back to all those questions, we're going to fix it by telling you that it's not the dog's house. Stop being a dick. It's your house. Your house. And then we got to get your house under control. So if your kids are out of control, if your wife's out of control, if your husband's out of control, and they're not on board, this is going to be hard because I don't treat symptoms. You started here by getting the dog. There is no purpose in that dog's life. None. None. When there's no purpose in the dog's life, the dog's going to create a purpose, which is to manage the people. That's what happens. So how do you do that? Come to a seminar. Come to a class. We're going to show you. Is it harder than this stuff? I don't know. Is it harder for me to control my diabetes by doing what's right, or just keep taking pills until my legs fall off? The money's in the drug. The money's in the gift of loving desperation. This is exactly what happens when you come here or you come to a seminar. We have questions. We have forensics that we need to find out. We don't treat symptoms here. We don't do that. We don't have one-size-fits-all training. Dogs vary in this scale, but the problem is people are taking dogs that should never have been alpha and teaching them to be alphas. We're calling that created alpha. Now, if you look, there's a couple of videos that I have out there. I'm going to put some in this. I'm going to have George throw some videos up here. And you're going to see a lot of people getting bit. You're going to see a lot of dogs that think they're telling humans what to do. There's actually a couple of people who go, their solution to this is I'll just beat the shit out of the dog. I'll show it. I'm more dominant. You have to teach, not make. When you make the dog, yes, a trainer like me, 285 pounds, 6'3", yep, I can make dogs do just about anything. But when they can't, they go to an e-collar prong, all that stuff. Why are we not teaching the dog what we didn't teach it when we first got it? So we need a pattern interrupt, a reset, and we have to teach you, it's not the dog, it's you, how to deal with this. By putting tools, methods, medications, psychics, you're not addressing anything. You're just addressing the symptoms. So if you address the symptoms, you're going to have problems and you're going to get out your checkbook. If you learn what a dog is, you learn how a dog thinks, you learn that a dog needs a purpose and it just can't be your buddy, you're going to do well. So what do? We go right here when you come in, when you have the gift of loving desperation, and we teach you how to parent your dog. Because anything that's wrong with your dog that's not genetic is your fault. Remember that. Thanks.